You know that feeling, right? You're scrolling through YouTube, maybe looking for an answer to, I don't know, some burning question, and you stumble upon an explainer video that just nails it.
Oh, absolutely.
It's concise, it's super informative, and often you don't even see a person's face. Yet somehow it keeps you glued right to the screen until the very end.
It really does. It's almost like a carefully orchestrated magic trick sometimes.
Exactly. And today we're doing a deep dive into the very blueprint behind that magic. We've got this expert YouTube scriptwriter's guide specifically for a faceless channel, kind of like the hugely popular Focus Fuel.
Right, and it's pretty remarkable how often we watch this stuff, this kind of content, without really appreciating the intentional, almost surgical design behind it all.
Totally.
So our mission in this deep dive is basically to pull back the curtain on how these really engaging scripts are put together. We're going to try and extract the most important nuggets of, knowledge and insight from this guide.
Sort of give everyone a shortcut to understanding what makes these videos so effective.
Exactly, the precise mechanics behind it.
Yeah, you hit on a crucial point there. And, whether you're a content creator yourself or maybe someone just looking to sharpen your communication skills for work or school, or maybe you're just insanely curious about how online engagement works, understanding these principles, I think, is going to offer so many aha moments. You'll get this unique perspective on the deliberate engineering, the planning that goes into this seemingly effortless flow of these really popular videos.
Yeah, it's not just about what to say. It's way more about how you architect attention, especially now in such a crowded digital world.
Okay, so let's dive into the core philosophy then. What's the main goal here?
So, at its very core, the primary objective, really the only objective of these scripts, is singular. And it drives every single decision, create high engagement YouTube explainer videos, the kind that truly keep viewers watching.
High engagement. Okay, but what does that really mean in this context? Because it feels like it
Yes.
has to be more than just views, right?
Ah,
Especially for a faceless channel.
absolutely. It moves far beyond just the raw view count. I mean, views are great, but they don't tell the whole story.
Yeah, it's easy to see a million views and think, wow, instant success. But for these channels, especially one like Focus Fuel, where there's no face, no visible presenter, it's not just about getting eyes on the video, is it?
Not at all. What high engagement truly means here, it's fundamentally about retention.
Retention, okay.
How long do people actually stay watching? Are they dropping off after, say, 30 seconds? Or are they sticking around for 80, maybe even 90% of the video? That metric, retention, it's a direct indicator of the value you're delivering.
That makes sense. It shows if people are actually finding it useful.
Precisely. And beyond retention, it's also about comments. Comments signal active thought, right? They show an intellectual connection with the material. Often, it's a desire for dialogue or maybe clarification.
And community building too, I suppose.
Definitely. And crucially, it's also about shares. Shares extend your reach organically because the content resonated enough for someone to actually pass it on to their network.
Right, they liked it enough to vouch for it.
Exactly. So these metrics together, retention, comments, shares, they paint a much more comprehensive picture of true value delivered and received. And that's especially important when there's no visible personality on screen to kind of, bond with.
The content itself has to be the star. It has to do all the work.
It absolutely has to speak for itself, and powerfully. It's about cultivating an active, invested audience, not just passive viewers clicking by.
That makes a lot of sense, especially when the content needs to stand entirely on its own merit. And speaking of the content, the guide targets a very specific runtime, 12 to 15 minutes,
Yeah, it's pretty precise.
which they say equates to roughly 1,800 to 2,300 words. That feels like a remarkably tight window, especially considering the depth these videos often aim for. Why that specific duration and word count? Is there a science to it?
Oh, there absolutely is a strategic curation, I'd call it, at play. This specific duration, 12-15 minutes, it really hits a sweet spot. It balances the depth of information you can provide with the typical viewer's attention span, specifically for this explainer format. It's more than just balance, though. It's, like I said, strategic curation.
Curation.
How so?
Well, think about it. In an era of infinite scroll and, frankly, endless distractions, this 12-15-minute window isn't just about not being too long. It's about providing a deeply satisfying, but also contained learning experience.
Contained, like a complete package.
Exactly. It signals to you, the viewer, hey, here's a complete, valuable nugget of knowledge you can acquire from start to finish. And crucially, without feeling overwhelmed or, shortchanged, it's almost an antidote to information overload.
Yeah, I get that.
It's an intentional act of respecting your time by delivering maximum insight within a digestible container. It's like a subtle promise that this particular deep dive will be fully realized and actually rewarding.
Yeah, because if it's
Too short, and you might just scratch the surface, right? You leave feeling like you didn't really get the full answer.
And too long, and you risk cognitive overload. Or just simply losing focus in a world saturated with competing content. People just click away.
That balance is incredibly appealing, I have to say. As someone who's always trying to gain knowledge efficiently, it does strike that sweet spot. You get enough detail, but you avoid that feeling of being drowned in information. It's like you said, a deep dive, not a textbook chapter.
Precisely. The 12-15-minute mark allows for a pretty comprehensive exploration of a topic, usually breaking down maybe 5 to 7 key hacks or points without feeling rushed.
Okay.
It's long enough to build a compelling narrative or argument, but short enough to be digestible in a single sitting, maybe during a lunch break or a short commute, something like that.
And how does it compare to other formats, like TikTok versus a documentary?
Well, compared to a quick 30-second TikTok or a short, it obviously offers a foundational depth that those just can't provide. But compared to a, say, 60-minute documentary or a lecture, it really respects the contemporary attention economy, which, let's face it, thrives on efficient, impactful learning.
It's optimized for maximum impact without the overload.
That's the key, especially for a learner like you who wants efficient, actionable knowledge. And, this duration is also often favored by YouTube's algorithm for mid-form content. It allows enough opportunity for ad placements while still being consumable in one go.
That's fascinating how specific that sweet spot really is. Okay, so then we have the whole faceless channel challenge itself. That's the core identity of Focus Fuel, right?
All right.
The absence of a visible presenter,
Right.
it fundamentally changes how you approach script writing. But, if the script is the host, doesn't that make it incredibly difficult to convey, genuine emotion or personality? How do you stop it from sounding dry?
That's a really insightful question, actually. It gets
Yeah.
right to the heart of this faceless channel paradox. The unique constraint is that the script itself has to carry the entire weight. Personality, clarity, engagement, everything.
Because there's no charismatic person on screen to connect with.
Exactly. No facial expressions, no body language, not even the same kind of vocal inflection you get when you see someone speaking. It creates this kind of psychological void. And that means the script demands meticulous attention to every single detail. It puts this immense, burden of proof on the content itself.
So viewers kind of project a personality onto it.
Often, yeah. Unconsciously, they might project personality onto the voiceover or even the visuals. So the script has to guide that projection really carefully.
So the script isn't just delivering info, it effectively is the host. It has to generate that rapport and interest all by itself. That sounds like a massive challenge.
It is. But it's also an opportunity.
How so?
The opportunity lies in, universal appeal and hyperfocus. Without a face, you remove potential biases or distractions related to the presenter's appearance, their gender, background, whatever.
Okay, so it can appeal more broadly.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
The entire focus shifts purely onto the information, its delivery, and the visuals that go with it. And this forces creators to hone their communication skills to an absolute peak.
So the implication is?
The implication is profound. The words, the pacing, the stories used, the calls to action, every single element has to be perfectly calibrated to engage the viewer, establish authority, build trust. The script isn't just a guide, it's the entire performance. It's the channel's personality, orchestrating everything to build that bond through pure informational value and engaging structure.
Okay, so given how much weight the script carries without a presenter, it's clear these aren't just words on a page. The guide explicitly talks about a paradigm shift. Writing for video, not just audio.
Yes, that's a critical distinction.
Why is that so important? How does it dictate a different rhythm, a different structure compared to, say, writing an article or even a podcast script like this one?
It truly is a fundamental shift. Traditional writing or even scripts for audio only, they can afford to be more descriptive, maybe rely on the listener to kind of mentally visualize things.
Right.
But for video, especially faceless video, the visuals aren't just supplementary. They are an integral part of the storytelling, of the engagement. The script needs to anticipate and direct what the viewer sees at every single turn. It's almost like being a choreographer guiding a dance.
Choreographing the viewer's experience.
Exactly. It dictates a dynamic rhythm and structure that's totally different from static writing. Every sentence, every pause, every transition is considered alongside what's happening on screen.
So it's this constant interplay, and one of the rules you mentioned is adding a visual CU every 20 to 30 seconds. That sounds relentless.
It is relentless, yeah.
B-roll ideas, kinetic text, on-screen stats. How does this constant visual stimulation actually work with our modern attention spans, which, let's be honest, are pretty fragmented these days?
Well, this relentless pacing is a direct, calculated response to what we know about human attention and, yeah, the modern digital environment. Psychologically, we're just hardwired for novelty. Yeah, our brains constantly scan for changes in our environment. It's a primal survival thing. If something stays static for too long, we habituate. We get bored. Our attention drifts. So frequent visual changes prevent that habituation, prevent boredom. They leverage what cognitive scientists call the novelty reward system. Each new visual cue, maybe a burst of kinetic text showing a key stat, or a relevant bit of B-roll footage illustrating a concept, or an animation, it acts as a micro-refresh for the viewer's focus.
Like a little nudge for the brain.
Exactly. It's like a gentle but persistent tap on the shoulder saying, hey, pay attention again. It keeps the dopamine flowing, keeps them engaged.
That's a great way to put it, a micro refresh. So let's imagine a segment explaining something really complex, like the butterfly effect or maybe quantum entanglement. How would a visual cue, like a fast motion graphic or some specific B-roll, help me understand and remember it better?
Okay, good examples. Let's take the butterfly effect. Verbally, we might describe how one tiny action can have huge unforeseen consequences, right? Visually, you wouldn't just show, I don't know, random stock footage. You could start with an intricate motion graphic, a single butterfly flapping its wings. Then rapidly cascade that into visuals of ripples expanding, maybe weather patterns shifting, complex gears turning, things getting more chaotic.
Ah, I see. Connecting the visual to the concept directly.
Precisely. And for quantum entanglement, where particles are linked no matter the distance, you could use maybe elegant motion graphics, show two separate glowing particles that instantly mirror each other's state, maybe add a subtle whoosh sound effect PI1.
Oh, interesting. So the sound reinforces it too.
Absolutely. These visuals, they don't just decorate the screen, they become powerful mnemonic devices. They make the abstract tangible, help the information stick in your mind way better than audio alone could. It's like giving the brain another pathway to process the information, reducing the cognitive load.
I can totally see how that would make complex stuff feel more accessible. Multiple senses working together. Super smart. Okay, and then there's the hook. The guide insists, attention-grabbing pattern interrupt in 8 seconds or less.
Yep, non-negotiable.
Immediately followed by the payoff promise. 8 seconds. That is incredibly short. Why is that so critical today? What happens if you miss that window?
Well, 8 seconds might feel like a lifetime in the digital attention economy, but it's also the absolute maximum window you have to prove your video is worth watching.
It's that cutthroat, huh?
It really is. This ultra-short hook is about immediately grabbing curiosity and instantly establishing the value proposition. Think about your own feed. Countless videos are vying for attention. If you don't grab them instantly, they're gone. Swipe past, clicked away.
So it's ruthless efficiency.
Totally. The pattern interrupt itself could be a surprising fact, maybe a bold question, a really striking visual. Anything designed to break that scroll trance and make them pause. If you miss that 8-second window, you basically lost the viewer before they've even given your content a real chance, no matter how good the rest is.
The cost of a weak hook is just immediate abandonment.
Pretty much, yeah.
It almost feels like the rise of short-form content, shorts, TikTok, has really conditioned us viewers to expect that immediate hit of engagement. Like this sub-8-second rule feels like a direct result of that. Is that a fair guess?
Oh, absolutely. It's a very fair and, I think, accurate speculation.
Yeah.
The constant stream of rapid-fire, high-impact content from those platforms has fundamentally reshaped viewer expectations.
Our brains have been rewired.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah.
We're conditioned to make instantaneous judgments about content value. The brain's adapted to this high-speed info consumption. If a video doesn't deliver immediate intrigue or a clear promise of what you'll gain, boom, you swipe, you click away. No second thought.
Longer intros just feel annoying now.
Exactly. They feel like wasted time, almost an insult to our conditioned viewing habits. So this guide, it basically formalizes that intuitive decision-making process that you probably go through yourself every time you browse. You decide pretty quickly if something's worth your time, right?
Yeah, definitely. Instantly, almost.
This rule is a direct response to that. It's optimizing for modern neurological conditioning.
Okay, so it's not just the visuals in the hook. It's the actual words and how they're used. The guide has this non-negotiable style point. Sentences must be punchy, kept under 18 words.
Yeah, that's a strict one.
18 words. That is really short. What's the impact of sentences that short? Not just for a YouTube video, but maybe, I don't know, for an executive summary you're writing or a crucial email. Does that discipline translate?
Oh, the impact is profound. And yes, it translates incredibly well to almost all forms of effective communication. First, just clarity. Shorter sentences are just inherently easier to grasp, easier to process.
Less mental work.
Exactly. Reduced cognitive load. Your brain doesn't have to struggle with complex sentence structures. That's vital, whether you're talking in a video or writing a report.
Yeah.
Second, for a video-first script, where you're using kinetic text or captions a lot.
Right. People are reading it too.
Short sentences are much more readable on screen. They can be absorbed quickly without messing up the visual flow.
Right.
Same goes for headlines or bullet points in a presentation.
And I imagine they also create a sense of urgency, like directness, getting straight to the point.
Absolutely. They create that feeling of directness, efficient information delivery. It contributes to that fast-paced, high-value feel these videos have. This isn't academic writing. It's about getting info across rapidly, memorably. It keeps the auditory processing speed high, stops the viewer feeling like it's dragging.
So in a business email, a punchy sentence makes sure the main point lands.
Precisely. It ensures your core message isn't buried in jargon. In a presentation, it means your audience gets each key takeaway instantly. It fundamentally respects the recipient's time. Maximum info, minimal effort.
Okay, makes sense. And then, even though there's no visible host, the script has to maintain a conversational tone.
Yes, that's key.
That feels almost like a contradiction, no face, but talk like you're chatting. But I guess it makes sense. Why is that conversational style so important in a faceless format? How does it build rapport?
Well, what's fascinating here is that even without that visible person, a conversational tone does help build rapport. It humanizes the content.
Right, makes it feel less like a lecture.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It makes complex information feel more accessible, less intimidating. You don't want the narration sounding like a textbook reading or, worse, a robot. You want it to sound like a knowledgeable friend sharing some insights.
Creating that connection through voice and words alone.
Yeah, that casual yet informative approach fosters this subtle, maybe subconscious sense of connection. It helps bridge the gap left by the missing face. It's about speaking to the viewer, not just at them. It creates this kind of illusion of intimacy, of direct communication.
Our brains just respond better to that human-like pattern.
They really do. It makes the information feel more personally relevant.
So you're basically crafting a personality purely through the words and the voiceover, a carefully constructed persona. And related to that, the guide says no bulky paragraphs. Paragraphs shouldn't be longer than 3 lines.
Right.
Now, obviously, we don't see paragraphs in a video, but how does that structural rule in the script itself help the listener's comprehension?
That's a good point. While you don't see the paragraphs, this rule is all about how the information is mentally structured and delivered. Short paragraphs mean the thoughts are broken down into digestible, easy-to-follow chunks.
Prevents cognitive overload again.
Directly. It ensures each segment of info is concise, focused. It allows for efficient processing. It encourages this natural, subtle pause in the listener's mind, lets them process what was just said before moving to the next distinct idea.
Like mental white space.
Kind of, yeah. This structural discipline in the script ensures the spoken delivery keeps a brisk, clear pace. Makes it much easier for you to follow along, assimilate the info, and actually retain it without feeling lost or overwhelmed by just a continuous wall of sound. It's like the audio equivalent of clear formatting.
That makes perfect sense. Managing the info flow for the brain, creating mental breakpoints.
Okay, and speaking of breaking the flow, the guide stresses using pattern interrupts, at least 5 per script.
Yes, strategically placed. These are explicit points to shake things up, re-engage attention. We're talking sound effects, whoosh, keyboard click, pop, or zoom-ins on visuals, even meme cuts. What's the deep psychology here, beyond just, grabbing attention for a second?
Well, it raises that important question. Why are pattern interrupts so effective? They really leverage fundamental principles. Surprise, novelty. They fight off mental fatigue, combat what psychologists call habituation.
Habituation, getting used to something.
Exactly. Our brains are designed to notice changes, especially sudden, unexpected ones. When you're consuming information, your attention naturally diffs over time. It's normal. A well-placed pattern interrupts maybe that sudden pop sound PI2 when a surprising fact is revealed, or a quick zoom in on a visual detail PI3, or even a quick relevant meme cut. It acts like a psychological jolt.
Snaps you back.
It snaps the viewer back to attention, re-engages their focus, stops their mind wandering. It probably triggers a small release of dopamine too, making the learning feel more rewarding, preventing the brain from just settling into a passive state. It's a deliberate, tactical technique to reset attention, ensure continued active engagement.
So it's almost like the script is playing this subtle game of peekaboo with our attention, isn't it? Just when you think you've settled in, pop, something new pulls you back.
Kind of, yeah.
I can totally imagine how a sudden pop could punctuate a surprising fact and make it way more memorable for me. It gives the fact itself more impact, like a digital exclamation point.
Exactly. It adds emphasis, it can inject a bit of humor or surprise, and ultimately it makes the content more dynamic and memorable. It ensures the information isn't just passively received, but actively registered, maybe even encoded into memory more strongly. It's a multi-sensory tactic designed to keep you locked in.
Okay, smart. The guide also advises adding on-screen questions to spark comments. The example was, struggling with distractions. Tell me. Now, obviously this is about getting comments, building community, but what's the deeper goal here? What's the strategic purpose for the creators?
Well, what's interesting here is that while, yeah, sparking comments is the immediate goal you see, the deeper purpose is really multifaceted and highly strategic.
Okay.
These questions, they foster that sense of community by explicitly inviting you, the viewer, into a dialogue. It transforms passive viewing into active, interactive participation that helps build loyalty. But critically, for the creators,
Yeah.
these questions provide invaluable real-time feedback. It's like free market research. They get insights into the audience's pain points, their understanding levels, their interests, even what solutions they like.
Ah, so the comments become data.
Exactly. This qualitative data is gold. It can then directly inform future content creation, ensuring the channel consistently makes videos that really resonate with its audience. It's a really clever way to cultivate a loyal, engaged audience and continuously refine your content strategy based on direct input.
Okay, this brings us to how the information is actually presented and, crucially, made to stick. The guide emphasizes building mini-stories, using real-life or famous examples, keeping them super short, under 45 seconds each.
Yeah, the mini-story format is powerful.
And the key elements, vivid verbs and concrete numbers. Why are these mini-stories so effective for explainer content, especially crammed into such a short time? And how do those details, vivid verbs, concrete numbers, amplify the impact?
Mini-stories are just incredibly potent. They tap right into our innate human wiring for narrative. We're storytelling creatures, right? Our brains process stories differently than they process raw data.
They just land differently.
Totally. When information comes wrapped in a story, it becomes inherently more engaging, more relatable, and significantly more memorable than just dry facts or abstract concepts.
Yeah.
And within that tight 45-second constraint, vivid verbs and concrete numbers are absolutely crucial.
Why those specifically?
They make the story impactful and efficient. They paint a clear mental picture quickly without needing tons of words. Think about it. He sprinted 100 meters in 9.58 seconds is way more compelling and memorable than just saying he ran fast.
Right, the specifics make it real.
Exactly. The specific details anchor the abstract idea in a tangible, maybe even emotional context.
It makes abstract concepts feel concrete and memorable. Like, I can imagine a mini story about, say, the light bulb invention, how Edison famously failed 1,000 times before finally succeeding on try 1001. That illustrates persistence way better than just saying, keep trying.
Precisely. Those details, the vivid verbs, the concrete numbers, they create emotional resonance and a really clear mental image. And for a faceless channel, these mini-stories are a super powerful tool to inject personality and relatability without needing a visible host.
They bridge that gap between theory and practice.
Exactly. They show how a concept actually plays out in the real world, making it much easier for you to internalize and remember. I remember one script. We're explaining analysis paralysis. Instead of just defining it, we told this quick 40-second story about a CEO who spent like 3 months debating between two identical software vendors.
Oh, wow.
And ultimately lost $1 million deal because of the indecision. That concise narrative with those specific numbers, it just hammered the point home far better than any abstract explanation ever could.
That's a fantastic example. It really shows the power of show, don't just tell. Okay, so after the engaging story and the clear explanation, every tip has to end with a one-line action step. In all caps.
Yep, all caps.
Why the all caps, and what's the precise purpose of this immediate call to apply the info?
Well, the all caps isn't just for emphasis, although it does that. It's also a visual pattern interrupting in itself. It's a deliberate stylistic choice that signals, hey, crucial directive here, pay attention.
Okay.
The purpose of the actionist step itself is multi-layered. It's deeply rooted in pedagogical theory, how people learn. First, it's a direct call to application. It immediately reinforces the learning. It bridges that gap between just passively consuming information and actively engaging with it.
So you're not just told something.
You're explicitly told what to do with that information right now to make it relevant to your life.
So it's not just about learning, it's about doing, and doing it right away.
Exactly. And that's where the pedagogical value kicks in. Learning theory, especially principles like the endowed progress effect, suggests that when people feel they've made progress and are given clear next steps, they're far more likely to keep going.
Makes sense.
So, by empowering you, the viewer, to put the info into practice immediately, it significantly boosts retention. And it boosts that feeling of competence, of ownership over the knowledge. It turns you from a passive viewer into an active participant. It solidifies the knowledge because you know how to use it and you're encouraged to apply it. It answers that "so what now" question instantly. Turns theory into practical empowerment.
Okay, so we've talked philosophy, we've talked individual elements. Now let's really pull back the curtain on the entire structure. Because the guide gives this super detailed script outline. It looks designed to ensure consistency and just maximum impact. It really feels like a masterpiece of intentional design.
It really is meticulously planned out.
Let's start right at the beginning. The hook. Time code 0.00 to 0.30. It starts with a 2-sentence shock fact or bold question and includes a visual CU short caption on screen. What's this first 30 seconds all about, and how does it nail that sub-10-second rule we talked about?
Right, so this is that critical opening salvo. It's engineered precisely to grab attention within those crucial first few seconds. That 2-sentence shock fact or bold question is designed to immediately pique curiosity, maybe create a sense of agency, or challenge some common assumption you might hold.
Okay, give me an example.
So instead of saying something bland like, many people are unproductive, it might hit you with, you lose 4 hours a day to hidden distractions. PI4. What if I told you that you could reclaim 3 of those hours with just one simple shift?
Whoa, okay, that definitely makes you pause.
Yes, exactly. It makes you think, wait, really? How? I need to know more. And the accompanying short caption, the visual cue, they're not just decoration. They visually reinforce that bold statement, make it more impactful, more memorable. This whole segment is purely about setting the stage, generating intrigue, signaling that valuable, actionable info is coming, all within that razor-thin attention window.
So captivating thought, captivating visual, boom. Okay, then right after that, 0.30 to 1.000, we hit the roadmap.
Yes, the roadmap.
This explicitly tells viewers what 5-7 hacks they'll learn. And it includes an invitation to watch till the last tip.
What's the full purpose of laying it all out like this? How does it psychologically prep the viewer?
The roadmap is essentially a promise. It's a mental contract. And it's a clear guide for the viewer. Its purpose is multifold. First, it sets really clear expectations. You know exactly what value you can anticipate getting from the video. That transparency builds trust and also manages cognitive load. You're not wondering where this is going.
Okay, builds trust. What else?
Second, it provides that mental map. It lets you mentally organize the upcoming information into clear categories. You know what's coming, which reduces any kind of cognitive anxiety and enhances the feeling of organized knowledge being delivered.
Makes it feel less random.
Exactly. And third, that invitation to watch to the last tip that subtly builds anticipation and commitment. It leverages a psychological principle called the curiosity gap. It suggests that maybe the final piece of info is particularly valuable or surprising. That encourages greater retention, encourages people to watch the whole thing. A little psychological nudge.
Totally. It's designed to increase watch time and the perceived value, preparing you for a structured, rewarding learning journey.
That's really smart. Managing expectations, building commitment, like, here's what you get, and trust me, stick around. Okay, then we get into the main content, 1.00 to 11.30. This is the core engine, this repeated 6-part block for each hack. Let's break down each piece. First, title card, 3 words max, plus PI shag.
Right.
Why so short? 3 words fastest. And why the immediate pattern interrupt.
Okay, the title card is all about extreme brevity for maximum impact and immediate categorization. 3 words forces you to be concise, super clear. It acts as a quick, memorable header for the specific hack, like bash your tasks or Pomodoro power, something like that.
Got it. Punchy.
And coupling it immediately with a PI5, that pattern interrupt, maybe a sharp whoosh sound or a quick zoom, ensures that transition is dynamic. It grabs attention again. It signals a clear, high-energy shift in topic, prevents monotony, keeps your focus sharp as you move from one distinct piece of advice to the next. It's like an efficient signpost keeping the video moving briskly.
Okay, short and punchy, boom, next point. Then B, relatable problem, 1-2 lines. This sounds crucial for connecting emotionally. How does it establish empathy so fast?
Absolutely crucial. This segment establishes empathy. It immediately identifies a common pain point the hack will solve. By articulating a problem you, the viewer, likely experience like, do you feel overwhelmed by your to-do list? Or struggling to focus for more than 10 minutes? It instantly creates relevance, a sense of shared understanding.
It's like saying, I get you.
Exactly. I understand what you're struggling with, and hey, here's a solution specifically for that. This emotional connection makes the hack that follows way more compelling, because its value in solving a known, often frustrating issue is immediately clear. It primes you to receive the solution because you've just been reminded why you need it.
So, here's your problem, now here's the fix, which leads right into science story. 4 lines, mentions source here.
Right, credibility and narrative.
This is where that credibility comes in. And the explicit mention of source here that really stands out to me as vital, especially in a faceless video where you can't see the expert. Why is that specific detail so important?
It is absolutely vital for building undeniable trust and authority in this format. Without a visible expert to vouch for the info, that factual grounding becomes paramount. Mentioning a source here like a 2021 study from Stanford University found, or as described in Cal Newport's deep work back in 2016, it provides immediate, verifiable credibility.
Shows you did your homework.
Exactly. It signals the advice isn't just opinion or anecdote. It's backed by research, or a proven method, or a respected authority. This builds confidence in the content, counters skepticism, reinforces the channel's commitment to reliable information. And then the story element, as we discussed, makes that fact memorable, translates data into relatable experience, like that CEO story.
Right, building authority through evidence, not just personality.
Precisely.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. Then D, practical steps, bullet list, each 7 words. Wow, 7 words max per step. That is incredibly concise. What's the benefit there?
This is where the rubber meets the road, right?
Great.
Offering immediate utility. The bullet list format, with that strict 7-word limit per step, ensures instructions are incredibly concise, crystal clear, and immediately actionable.
No room for confusion.
None. It avoids ambiguity, jargon, complex phrasing, makes it effortlessly easy for you to understand what to do. For example, set 25-minute timer, focus, no distractions, take 5-minute break. It's about delivering direct, no-fluff instructions. Understandable, processable, applicable without any mental friction. That clarity is just paramount for an explainer video aiming for real-world impact.
And right after those super clear steps, E, action step, all caps. We touched on this, but seeing it here in the block, it really is the immediate, non-negotiable takeaway.
Indeed. It's the direct command, the ultimate call to implement. This immediate call to action reinforces the learning by demanding application. It's that critical bridge from theory to practice, solidifying the knowledge by prompting you to engage actively. It transforms passive learning into active, immediate engagement. You finish the segment not just knowing about something, but knowing what to do with it.
And finally in the block, visual CU, B-roll, or motion graphic idea, which ties right back to that video-first approach, constant visual stimulation.
Absolutely. This just reiterates that relentless focus on visual engagement. Each hack isn't just explained verbally, it's also reinforced visually. Relevant B-roll, a compelling motion graphic, on-screen text illustrating a concept. It ensures your attention stays constant, prevents mental fatigue, enhances comprehension, boosts retention. It's this continuous cycle, info delivery, visual stimulation, crucial for maintaining engagement in a fast-paced, faceless format where the visuals carrying so much narrative weight.
Okay, so looking at this whole repeatable block structure problem, credibility, steps, action step, visual cue, how does this ensure consistency? How does it make it easy for me as a viewer to follow along and actually absorb the knowledge without getting overwhelmed?
Well, this repeatable structure is genuinely genius in its simplicity and effectiveness. It creates this predictable rhythm that you, the viewer, quickly internalize.
You know what's coming.
Exactly. Each hack is presented in the same systematic way. Problem, backing, steps, action, visual. This consistency builds familiarity, and it significantly reduces cognitive effort because you know what to expect, you know how to process the information. This predictability, in a good way, makes it incredibly easy to follow along, process efficiently, absorb the knowledge without feeling lost or overwhelmed. It's a clear, logical, highly organized path through the content. It lets your brain focus on the information, not the structure.
Brilliant. Okay, so once all the main hacks are delivered using that block, we move to the rapid recap, timecode 11.3 to 12.3. This is a one-line summary per hack, often with an emoji. Why is this so effective for memory?
The rapid recap serves several critical functions. It really leverages principles like spaced repetition and visual memory. First, it's a quick mental refresh. It lets you quickly recall all the key takeaways in a really concise format. That aids memory retention by reinforcing the info just presented, but in a new, summarized way.
Like flashcards at the end.
Kind of, yeah. Second, the one-line summary makes the points super digestible for review. Maybe they even act as mental bullet points or quick notes for you to recall later. And the emoji that adds a touch of personality, yes, but also visual shorthand.
Visual shorthand.
Yeah, a visual cue like an emoji can act as a really powerful anchor for memory. It makes the recap more engaging and memorable than just plain text would be. It's a powerful tool for consolidating the learning, making sure the core messages really stick.
I love that. A visual anchor for memory makes complex ideas instantly recognizable again. Okay, then the final stretch. Challenge in CTA, 12.30 to 13.0. This challenges viewers to apply hacks for 7 days and asks them to like, subscribe, and share progress. This feels like it moves way beyond just watching, right? It's about deeper engagement.
Oh yeah, this segment is all about transcending mere content consumption. It's fostering active participation in community building. That 7-day challenge specifically, that's a powerful psychological tool. It activates something called the endowed progress effect.
Endowed progress.
Yeah, when people feel like they've been given a head start or a clear path to make progress, they're way more motivated to complete a task. So this challenge encourages immediate, sustained application of what they just learned. It reinforces the lessons, creates a personal investment for the viewer. It's not just know this, it's do this and see the results for yourself.
And the CTA part. Like, subscribe, share progress. How does that build community and also provide value back to the creators?
Right, that's about cultivating a deeper reciprocal relationship with the audience and gathering invaluable social proof. Liking and subscribing, okay, those are standard platform metrics. They signal value to the algorithm. But asking people to share progress, that turns the individual learning journey into a shared public experience.
Makes it social.
Exactly. It leverages social proof, encourages accountability. It fosters a really strong sense of community around the channel and its content. And crucially, it provides continuous feedback for the creators. Seeing what challenges people take up, what progress they share, that's more data. So a specific challenge fosters deeper engagement, a sense of ownership over the new knowledge. It makes the channel feel more like a partner in self-improvement, not just an info source.
That is a really sophisticated approach. Community building and content iteration all wrapped up. And finally, the guide even includes a shorts repurpose table.
Yeah, that's thinking ahead.
Timestamp 40 char shorts title hook line. This really reveals a sophisticated multi-platform strategy, doesn't it? Not just making one video, but planning to atomize it for maximum reach.
Absolutely. Yeah. What's fascinating here is it's not just about efficiency, though it's part of it. It's about maximizing reach and adapting content to the unique consumption patterns and algorithms of different platforms, specifically within YouTube. This table shows a strategy of creating modular content from the start. It's designed for atomization across the whole ecosystem. That main 12-15-minute video. It's basically a goldmine of shorter, bite-sized pieces that can stand alone as hooks, tips, surprising facts for shorts.
It's not an afterthought, it's baked in.
Totally baked into the initial script design.
And why 40 characters specifically for a shorts title? And how does that hook line for a short differ from the main video's hook? It sounds like it needs to be even more aggressive.
It does. The 40-character limit for a shorts title is rigorously tailored for max visibility and impact in that super fast scrolling feed. It demands extreme brevity, immediate intrigue to literally stop the thumb. You have even less screen real estate, even less time than the main video hook.
Gotta be instant.
Instantaneous. The hook line for a short is often even more direct, more punchy, more immediate. It has to deliver value or a shock within the first second or two. So a main video hook might build a little anticipation, but a shorts hook is a direct hit. You're wasting hours, fix this Naevu, or something like that. It knows the short viewer's attention is even more fleeting. The goal isn't just to get them to watch the short, but ideally provide enough value or intrigue to then maybe direct them back to the longer video from your depth.
Wow. That shows a really deep understanding of the whole YouTube ecosystem, different platforms, different psychology.
Absolutely. It's thinking multidimensionally.
Okay, so we've gone through the script itself, the words, the structure, but then there are these unseen layers, things that often go unnoticed but have a huge impact on the viewer's experience. The guide even specifies background music shifts.
Yeah, the audio landscape.
High energy intro, steady lo-fi midsection, and an uplifting outro. How does this carefully planned music shift actually enhance the narrative arc and the viewer's emotional journey? Probably without them even consciously noticing.
Well, the impact of music on mood, on pacing, on emotional connection, it's incredibly powerful, often underestimated, even in an explainer video like this. Music is this subconscious driver of emotion and expectation. It's a potent psychological cue.
So the high energy intro.
That immediately grabs attention, signals excitement, sets an energetic anticipatory tone, hooks you emotionally right away.
And the steady lo-fi middle.
That, in contrast, creates a calm, focused, non-distracting backdrop. It's ideal for absorbing information. It lets the voiceover take center stage, maintains this consistent, pleasant atmosphere without competing with the actual content. The shift is designed to reduce cognitive friction while you're learning.
And then that uplifting outro. That must be designed to leave a specific feeling.
This exactly. The uplifting outro signals a sense of accomplishment, maybe positive resolution, often motivation. It leaves you feeling good, empowered, maybe inspired. It enhances the overall positive association with the content and the channel itself. These shifts are carefully orchestrated to subtly enhance the narrative arc, guide your emotional journey subliminally. You rarely notice it actively, but you definitely feel its effects. It adds a lot to the professional, engaging feel. It's part of that sticky factor.
That's fascinating. So much thought into something you don't even consciously register, yet it shapes your whole experience. And then there are the specific sound effects mentioned. 3 sound effects. Whoosh, keyboard click, pop.
We talked about them as pattern interrupts, but what's their specific individual purpose? Adding polish, precise sensory cues beyond just grabbing attention. Right, they're not just random noises. They're precisely chosen, strategically placed to enhance specific actions, transitions, or those pattern interrupts. They add a vital layer of professional polish. The whoosh, for instance, might accompany a quick visual transition between sections, or maybe the introduction of a new concept. Creates a sense of dynamic movement, flow.
Okay. And the keyboard click.
A keyboard click could punctuate an on-screen text element appearing. It makes the information feel more deliberate, more precise, almost tangible, like it's being typed out for you right then.
And the pop?
And the pop, as we discussed, often highlights something surprising, a crucial fact, a moment of realization. They provide these subtle yet powerful sensory cues that reinforce specific actions or transitions. Makes the video feel more dynamic, more responsive, ultimately more professionally produced and impactful. They're like micro-engagements that just elevate the whole production value.
They really do elevate it, make it all feel more intentional. And the guide even gets down to super technical specs, like a voiceover speed of 150 WPM.
Yeah, very specific.
Why that exact pace? Why is 150 words per minute considered optimal for comprehension and retention in educational stuff? Seems incredibly precise.
Well, what's fascinating here is that 150 words per minute is actually a widely researched optimal pace. It's often linked to the capacity of our auditory working memory. Our brains have a finite capacity for processing new info, especially hearing it.
Okay.
Any slower than that. And the delivery might feel sluggish. It could cause your mind to wander, get bored, because you're processing faster than the narration. But any faster, and you risk cognitive overload. The brain just struggles to process and retain the information effectively.
So 150 is the sweet spot.
It's engineered to maximize comprehension and retention. Ensures the information lands and sticks without feeling rushed or sluggish. It's the sweet spot for delivering educational content where every word really counts.
So it's all about precision, words, pace, and the explicit rules like no filler phrases in today's video, basically, and no generic transitions, jump cuts, keep pace. That really speaks to a relentless focus on conciseness, efficiency. It's almost militant about respecting the viewer's time.
Absolutely, and those are critical for maintaining that high engagement, fast-cut video style. Filler phrases like in today's video are basically, they don't just slow the pace, they dilute the message. Makes the content feel less polished, less confident. By ruthlessly cutting them, every single word has a purpose. It contributes directly to the information or the engagement.
And the jump cuts instead of generic transitions.
Same idea. Generic transitions just eat up valuable seconds without adding much value, visually or informationally. Jump cuts? When they're used effectively, skillfully, they maintain that brisk pace. Keep the energy high, keep the information flowing without interruption. The overall goal of all these technical choices is to contribute to that feeling of a highly polished, professional video that truly respects your time as a viewer. And that's absolutely crucial for keeping engagement high in a faceless format where every second matters and the expectation is peak efficiency.
Yeah, as a, discerning learner myself, I know I deeply appreciate content that just gets straight to the point. No fluff, no wasted time. This guide really shows how that precision is deliberately engineered, right down to the very last unseen detail. Hashtag tag tag outro.
We've really peeled back a lot of layers today, haven't we? Diving deep into the meticulous strategy behind these high-engagement, faceless YouTube explainer scripts. From those micro-details, sentence length, sound effects, to the macrostructure hooks, roadmaps, action steps. We've seen how every single element is precisely calibrated.
It is genuinely fascinating how a faceless channel, like the Focus Fuel example, relies on such a meticulously designed, almost hyper-aware script to build that connection and impact. The very lack of a visible personality forces the content itself to become the undeniable star.
Right.
It demands perfection in its construction, its delivery. Every word, every visual cue, every sound effect has to carry a heavy load, consciously replacing the charisma you'd get from a human presenter.
Indeed, it really is a masterclass in direct, impactful communication, where the content's quality, its structure are just paramount. And, that leads us to maybe a provocative thought for you, our listener.
Ooh, okay.
Considering these rigorous video-first rules we've discussed of these scripts, the relentless pace, the constant visual cues, the immediate action steps, what profound lessons can you maybe draw from this for any form of communication in your own daily life?
Yeah, that's a great question. How might applying even just a fraction of this intentional design that focus on punchy sentences or clear action steps or grabbing attention right away, how might that make your own presentations at work, maybe your emails to colleagues, or even just your casual conversations with friends more engaging, more clear, and ultimately more memorable? Think about how understanding the architecture of attention, as you put it earlier, could transform how you connect with others, whether that's on a screen or, just across a table. Let that maybe spark your own next deep dive into your communication style.